Hi everyone, welcome back to Katarina's Garage. My name is Katarina Lloyd, and today, we're going to be talking about something that is never, ever talked about. So, this is something that you always hear is, oh, you should put a hotter coil in your car, you know, like an MSD or a Super SL or whatever else like that. But, I will show you why that can potentially be a bad idea, unless if you have, like, these copper plugs aren't holding up to this, and I can't afford the platinum plugs that might actually work for this, potentially. So with that in mind, let's go check it out. So mostly spark plugs are actually okay, but once we see cylinder number 6, we'll see why this thing stumbled really bad and would have issues starting at times too. Because right now, like, if it wasn't plugged in, it would honestly have a difficult time starting. Although all the spark plugs are out right now, so it wouldn't start anyways. But let's check this out. So we go over here, and the thing is, like, I have, so you can actually see it down in the engine bay there. It's really close to the fuel filter. I should flip the filter around and flip this line around, but I just haven't done that yet. But anyways, so this is a Super SL coil that runs 42,000 volts. This car's factory coil would have only ran about 20,000 volts, give or take. So that's over double the voltage, which you think, hey, more voltage, hotter spark, means a better combustion. And not necessarily. Now, if you have higher compression, this wouldn't be an issue. But this car only has, I think it's 8.7 to 1 compression out of the box, and it's probably lost a little bit of that over time, but regardless. So we take a look at these, the spark plug here, and this one doesn't look too bad, although you see a little tiny bit of melted on the tip there. I don't know if you can really see that. It's not really focusing that well, but there's a little tiny bit, like right on this sort of edge here, that's melted. All right, we go over to this plug, and this one you can see it started to go right up front here. You know, which is just like, okay. And actually the tip right here has actually melted a bit. So you can kind of see that spot there. And again, it's not focusing like I want it to. But, so, okay. So that's cylinder 2. Cylinder 3. This one, just a little bit on the side of the electrode here. And you can actually see, hang on, wait a minute. Oh! That's actually like chunks of it on my finger. It's falling apart. So, alright. Cylinder 4. And actually on some of these cylinders, you'll see a tiny bit of oil on them. And this one actually doesn't look that bad. Like, I might be able to reutilize this, but when you run your hand along it, you know, along the plug, like this one, I could potentially reuse this plug. And I might save this for a later date, but I'm still going to replace all the plugs, and if I have a plug that just fouls really bad, I'll throw this one in the car, right? It's always a useful thing to keep a plug around, if it's any decent or not, for emergency situations. Now this one, so you see, you can't really see it, but right in here, below the electrode, it is starting to flake off, right? And these plugs have, they might have 4,000, 5,000 kilometers on them, to be honest. This one is the worst. By far, like, this thing is screwed on cylinder 6 here. Again, it's not really focusing. This is bothersome, but that's okay. You can see, maybe, in here, it's just all eaten away. And in fact, there's, like, it's not smooth at all, and there's even like burrs on this, so this is not good at all. So now the thing is, what I was talking about before, because now that we've looked at the spark plugs and realized like one of them can actually be salvaged, the rest have to be swapped out. But I'm gonna swap all 6 of them anyways, because only an extra like $5.29. I only run NGKs in this car because they're better for oil fouling. As you can see, there's a tiny bit of oil on them. This thing doesn't really burn oil all that much, to be honest. In fact, it typically leaks more of it out, because when I hit full throttle on this thing, it actually pushes oil out the back of the breather. So what I want to do, one of my next potential mods is, when I can find one, is to set up a catch can back there to run it. And to be honest, I might even delete the PCV entirely and just plug it where we have it onto the custom sort of spacer, and run 2 lines to an oil can or a catch can, which will probably be put on that side of the motor, more than likely. I seriously doubt I'll put it over here. There's just too much interference with other things over here, but over there's almost nothing. So I might actually do that, and it'd be okay. And the thing is, you might think, well, so why is your coil actually doing that? Because that's not a super serious coil. Like, it's only 42,000 volts. There are coils out there that run 85,000 volts, 90,000 volts, 100,000 volts. And to be honest, it has to do with a few different things. So for one, the compression of the motor is, like I said, out of the factory, it's 8.7 to 1, which, fun fact, it was actually the highest compression motor that Ford made at the time. Doesn't mean it was the most powerful, though, but it wasn't far off. You know, these things, they claimed 87 horsepower and like 160 torque. I've dynoed this one, granted it has modifications. 91 horsepower, 185 foot-pounds of torque. Dynoed that one, 94 horsepower, 165 foot-pounds of torque. So we know that those numbers that Ford put out were false. So they were a little low. But anyways, so because my combustion chamber is only 3.585 or 3.685, I can't remember. It's not like a huge bore, like it's a decent size. It's similar to like a 302 in bore size, but that coil actually has too many volts for that small bore size. So what happens is that it actually creates too much spark, and it's not utilizing it properly, so it's melting the plugs. So rather, what I am going to do is I'm going to find a different coil, just a stock style coil, to throw in this thing, run it for a while, and pull the plugs afterwards and see how they look. If that's the case, then sadly that super installed coil that I spent like 60 or 70 bucks on a couple of years ago, I can't really utilize anymore, and I'll just sell it for like 40 bucks or so. It's still a really good coil, it's too much of a coil for this car. Which is interesting, and it goes against everything you hear from old hot rodder guys, right? Nobody talks about this, but oddly enough, I was speaking to a friend last night who is an engineer, actually. We just got into the topic of the car, and with that way, and actually he talked about that. I'm like, huh, actually, no, that does make sense. Because if there was a bigger surface area, the spark would be utilized better as a result. You know, you can run that. Like, for example, if I had a 460 or something like that, or even a 351 with the bigger bore sizes, because I think a 351 is like 4-inch bore, something like that. I can't remember the exact, I haven't done my research on this, but I could run that coil just fine. So this is a bit of a quandary, to be honest. And so, yeah, it's going to be an interesting test to see actually going to a more stock coil. So I need to go scrounge one up, which, I mean, I know there's a couple of scrap cars out at Greg's that I can rub a coil off of, so that's not a big deal. But, yeah, so, anyways, stay tuned. Alright, let's try this. So, I'm on my road that I like to do hits on. So, came in first, foot on the clutch. 3,000 RPM. Nope. Okay, that's a carburetor issue. So hang on, let's just, I'm not going to launch it again, but I will. Okay, so go into it and basically axle hop and go and actually accelerate quite decently, like not super fast, but quite decently, and that was not good acceleration at all. So yeah, okay. Well, I thought my spark plug thing was a smoking gun. I guess it was not. But what can you do? Because even I gave it a little better of a chance. I turned the heat off on the car too, just to make sure that, hey, you know, that it isn't a big deal that way, that, you know, that it's actually going to warm up properly and all that jazz. But actually, you know what? I haven't been down this road in a while. Let's just drive to the end of the road. Why not? Then we'll pull a U-E at the end of this. Well, I say U-E, but it's gravel, and I have rear-wheel drive and fun. So, yeah, so right now, it's a good thing I swapped those plugs, don't get me wrong. But what's going to likely happen is when I can afford it, I will actually swap those plugs again for like platinum or iridium plugs, if I can find some. So, like, I get them from Napa, but sometimes they do have, like, on Rock Auto, they have clearance on really good spark plugs at times, so that might be worth a try too. I'll have to shop around a bit and see what I can find, because right now I am flat ass broke. So yeah, and, you know, it's a nice drive overall. The road's starting to get a little beat up, but it's still a very nice drive. Just a bunch of tiny little rocks in the road though, and you can kind of hear that because I don't have a lot of insulation on this car. Like, I have some, but like, I have insulation up here, nothing on the floors other than what the carpet provides. Little bit on the trans tunnel still, nothing in the back. So that's one of these things. But yeah, no, to be honest, I was really hoping that was going to be the smoking gun. That, hey, that's the problem. So back to the drawing board. It's gotta be the carburetor, which is weird because both the Holly and the Motorcraft have done this. I tried swapping the ignition out, and that didn't do a thing. So, I don't know. Like, because I'm pretty sure, yeah, I did put the ignition, yeah, the ignition box is in here. Yeah, I did swap it into this car, and no dice, you know, so, I do have another ignition box coming. I should have gotten the confirmation for shipping last night, but we'll see. And there is a kitty cat trying to cross the road. Kitty cat, you might want to move. There you go. Hey, go chase that bird, that magpie. Go get it. Get that magpie. I don't know if it's stalking the, and no, it's not stalking the magpie. I don't even think it notices it, or if it cares. But, you know, and just remember, if a black cat crosses your path, it's not actually bad luck. Black cats are awesome. They're spooky voids, and we love them. We love all types of kitties on this channel. I have a couple of cats myself, so. Like, this isn't the best driving road around, but it's kind of nice to drive down. It's better in the summertime though, because there isn't all these little rocks on the road. But I can, you know, just enjoy the drive. I do, like, every once in a blue moon there is a car that comes down here, but very rarely, so. And you can take these turns like it's amazing, to be honest. The only thing you gotta watch out for though is wildlife around here. I'm not really pushing it. Like, I could have went a lot faster on that corner, but I decided not to. But yeah, and now we reached the end of this awesome traffic road. But we can have some fun. Oh! There's construction people down there. Huh, okay. I mean, it's not a big deal. I could still turn around here, it's not a big deal. Oh God, it's all just chewed up right here. Ugh. There's not like a ton of gravel like there usually is here. Oh, come on. See? Down below. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and yeah. It sucks. But what can you do? Right? What can you do? Other than just enjoy driving your car. That's all I'm doing right now. Like, it's almost like a rally car, you know, in here, just because of hearing all that, you know, like, sort of, like, dirt and grit and stuff just whipping up into the underside of the car. You can hear it, right? Clear as day. It's just, I don't have a lot of insulation in this car, so it gets a little loud in here. Like, to be honest, I can't have a phone call in this car going down the road. Like, I really, or it's very, very difficult for me anyways. Which is why, like, I do want to add a bit more sound deadening into the car. Like, I do want to sound deaden the entire car, to be honest. Like, it's, you know, something similar to, like, Killmat or whatever, right? And just, you know, enjoy. Just enjoy. But yeah, so this is, it's gotta be that carburetor. So, looks like I am, again, when I can afford it, going to be rebuilding that carb again. Can you tell how enthused I am about that?